welcome back to Disc with Dale. I'm Dale, and today I'm showing you guys the new bag you voted for. Ow. Let's go. Here we have the Discraft bag. We're starting off with the Banger GTs here. One in Jawbreaker plastic. And then we have one of the putter plastic Banger GT as well. I'm going to be using these as my putters to begin with. We may switch to the Lunas. We'll see how these work today. For my throwing putter, I have this 2021 Metallic Z Luna. I can put this on hyzer and I can pump it out and it's going to flip up nicely and pretty much just land flat. I actually will be doing a Luna only video to choose the best throwing Luna that I have in my collection. And then in my extra putter pocket here, I just have a cap wrap. It's a first run, a more overstable version of the Raptor. I just need a little forehand approach. As you can see on the forehand there, it's just gonna pop out and die to the right. I got a bunch of mid-ranges here, so you know I'm gonna have some Buzzes. And to start things off, I've got this amazing bottom stamped Buzzz. And it is dyed with a shop that I'm not remembering right now. I think it was near Portland. My friend saw this on an Instagram story and bought it for my birthday and gave it to me a couple months after we got back from Portland. So very cool. That's Luis from Bob's Burgers, if you don't know. And this is gonna be my straight to stable Buzzz, which I can always trust on throwing it on a little bit of hyzer that's gonna pop up and always ride to the left and not flip over in the wind. Then I've got this super flippy OTB release Buzzz that you can see here. I can curl this baby right there in my hand. It's gonna be my turnover Buzzz. I'm gonna trust this thing to always flip over to the right when thrown on flat or a big turnover line for those distant shots. This is new, I've never thrown this disc. So as you can see in the video, those are my first throws with it. So if it's not doing what I'm saying it's doing, now you know why. Next up is this Z Wasp. Very, very straight disc. I have thrown this a couple times. It's still very new, but it has all that stability still. And it's just going to be my line drive, my zip line disc that I'm wanting to get on a rope. And then I've got two kind of utility discs here. I've got this Impact, this Foundation, shout out Foundation disc, special edition Impact of a disc that not a lot of people throw. And I threw it in the bag literally because I thought it'd be fun. So the throws you're seeing there, it's a -3, so it's very understable, but I can do this little hyzer flip line with this disc. And plus, I mean, guys, the stamp, it's incredible. So I'm very excited to throw that one. Last up, we have this Big Z Comet. Shout out Michael Johansson, I'm bringing the Comet back. I'm gonna be replacing a disc like my Uplink, my big turnover shot. I can trust that thing to even turn into a roller if I need a mid-range roller. So next, we're gonna move on to my throwing putters. I like to have a couple zones in the bag whenever I'm throwing any Discraft disc, but we're gonna start off with this Bear Heart zone. This is my forehand zone. This is the one that I can just rip on forehand. I know it's not going to turn over. It may go left, but it's always going to die back to the right. This may be replaced by a Zone OS if I get my hands on one, if Brenda lets me go shopping. So next up, we have this Jawbreaker zone, and I can throw this on a slight forehand, but I probably want to dip it a little bit because it will flip up. And I'm going to use this to get closer to baskets than I would with, say, this disc, the Crystal Sparkle Zone, from I want to say 2021? No, 2020. Wow, this is COVID zone. This is the one that I can just rip on backhand. As you'll see there, it's gonna just ride the line. And it will stay left, but it can have a little bit of a right to left action. And moving on to the fairway drivers, the Mantis. It's a -2 is what it says, but I'm getting less turn out of it than I expected because I was a little nose up, very thick in the rim. So I don't know if this mold's gonna last in the bag, but Paul Uleberry swears by it. I just want to have a big Z, so maybe the plastic is the problem. Next up is another disc I have no experience with, the Stalker. Great name, Discraft. Really making us feel safe with your disc. It's a -17. I want this to become the workhorse. I want this to become the servo equivalent to my MVP bag. And also, again, in the series, I just want to let you guys know what you'll be seeing in these 8 to 10 video series of the Discraft bag. We'll be doing a comparison video, back to back, side by side, MVP disc with the Discraft equivalent that I'm putting in the bag. I need some flippy fairway drivers as well. This is the Undertaker, old school ESP plastic, which for you non-disc golf nerds, when I say old school ESP, it has a lot less stability than new ESP. So it's a little bit more give. It's got that pop top to it right there. So this is a bomber of a disc. I'm gonna be relying on the Undertaker hopefully a lot more than I did before because I have a little bit more power in the guns there. Last but not least, a disc I have only thrown once. It was a collector's item in my eyes, and I wasn't going to throw it, but it is a Crystal Z Raptor. And I mean, this thing, I won't bend it fully because I'm afraid it'll stay like that because it has a Raptor stability, so it'll always come back. But man, it just soars through the sky. Onto the Bomber disc. Even though they're my least favorite in the Discraft lineup that I currently have, I'm most excited to mess around with them because one of them is my all-time favorite Discraft disc. I know that sounds like I just lied about what I said about their drivers, but that's not the truth because it's not the exact same disc. We'll get there. First up is this Big Z Heat, and I'll be honest, this should replace my wave, but I think it's going to be too flippy and it'll probably just become my roller. So I'll go ahead and try to throw a roller there for you. It's not very windy, so it should be as accurate as it would be out on the course with no wind. Probably the disc I'm most excited to be throwing normally is this Anax that I kept throwing for a while when I was throwing some Discraft molds. It's not like a regular Anax, does not have near the stability of a Zero. I can get a nice big turn out of it. This will probably become what I rely on most for max distance shots. If not, it'll be this disc called the Thrasher. And you've seen Missy Gannon throw these. They are absolute bombers, very flippy. And I believe the artwork is a ripoff of a game called Turok. Actually, I'm 90% positive, right, Sam? And finally, got a big boy disc here, this ESP bottom stamped Force. And this should be the disc that I can always rely on to pop on hyzer, and it's just gonna stay on hyzer. If this isn't stable enough, I do have some other discs that we're gonna be working in and out of the bag. This bag is not final, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight there into what exactly I'll be throwing for this series. And I want you to leave below in the comments anything you guys want to see that maybe I haven't mentioned, and I can put on the list to make a sweet video for you guys. And this has been Disking with Dale. Hey Sam, can you pick those up? Yeah, I figured.